Hey guys, and welcome to the final part of my Barbarian Assault Guide. Today it's the healer guide, so I hope people have been looking forward to this one because this is probably the second hardest role, just a defender. So hopefully you'll understand how to be a better healer today. Healer, you've got to do lots of things. You've got to make sure your team stays alive, because if someone dies you have to restart that wave, and that can be really annoying. It shouldn't happen in high level teams, but in the low level teams that you might find in World 6, a lot of people will need healing in even the lower waves. And then you see the big monster on screen, you've got to kill all of them. And the defender will be calling for you, he'll call you a certain type of food that you've got to use on them. That poisons them, and then eventually they'll die. So I'm going to show you a map, the trusty old map that I normally show you, just to explain a few things. Right, so I've opened up the map here, and I'm going to just show you with my mouse where you've got to go. So you should be in slot 5 here, which means you'll spawn about here, and then your machine is here. You just want to left click again, and that'll give you a selection of each item, so you get an even amount. And then you also get a vial. This vial you can use on the healer pool. You right click it and click take from healer pool, and it'll fill your vial to 4 doses. This is what you use on other players to heal them. And also if you left click on the healer pool, you'll drink from it yourself to heal yourself, which is obviously much easier than having to fill it up and then use the vial on yourself. So now that's explained, everyone else, the attackers and the collectors, should run up this side, the west side of the left cannon, and then you, the defender, run up the middle. This means the healers, which spawn through this cave, should all generally stay about the east side around here. It is possible to like block them if you stand around here, but I'm not quite sure how it works. It's quite hard to do, but they should stay around here, and generally they go for people that are standing still. And if the defender is doing his job and standing next to the trap, like to wait for them to all stack, generally they might stand around the defender, which means it's really easy to go and use the food on each of them. But also, one thing you've got to be really careful of is not to walk through the defender. If you walk through the defender, all the penance runners will just run through him and go on the trap and screw him over. So you've got to make sure you don't do that. So anyway, the goal is to poison all of them and make sure they die at a pretty fast rate, because the healer's the longest roll on wave 7 to 10. So before that it's easy. But so wave 1 to 6 you've only got to poison each one once with each food and they'll die. Wave 7 to 10 you've got to use multiple foods on them just to make them die. So I'm going to show you a clip of me doing healer, just to explain more in detail, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right guys, so first of all I'm going to show you a really easy wave. Obviously the first wave. So first of all you've got to run to the machine, you've got to call for your corresponding player, the defender. So as you can see it says tofu at the top right, so I just typed T, because you can't call while using the machine. So I use it after though. And then on wave 1 there's just 2 healers. Use 1 food on each that gets called for you, which as you can see, poison worms at the top right, which is exactly what I used. And then you're done on wave 1. That's all you gotta do. Up until wave 6 you've only got to poison each healer once. And as you can see, they're both about to die already, while I'm going to be first finished. Look, all the penance healers have been killed. Easy as pie. And then you've got to keep on calling for your defender. Obviously you can't stop calling because he needs you to call. So now I'm going to show you a little higher wave, wave 4. So you, again, call for your defender, which I see, I typed T for tofu, but then I'm going to use the horn after, probably. There you go, use horn, and I've got worms to use again. So you see all the healers, use worms on them once. And there's always a second batch, which I'm going to explain now. So poison them all once, there you go. But on most waves there's a second batch, and the second batch can't spawn until you've killed some of the first batch. So if there's 3 in the first batch and 2 in the second batch, you've got to kill 2 in the first batch before the second 2 spawn. So generally the best thing to do, especially on like wave 5 and 6, since they take quite a while to die because they've got a lot of HP, you've got to use multiple foods on them, and that'll make them die faster. And as you can see here, the defender wasn't calling, which can get very annoying, and I managed to actually block that healer. I stood there and it got trapped in front of me, so it stayed still, and then eventually the defender did call, and sometimes it's better to guess, because I kind of guessed there, because you've got a 50-50 chance. You know it's not the same food you just used before, and then since this is the only one in the second batch, I just spammed it with food and hit the constant 48, and there you go, it's been killed. And now I'm going to show you a higher wave, which I think is wave 8. And also, again, after you finish, keep on calling and use the cannon if you can. And again, I've called tofu, because, wow, it's always tofu. Holy crap. So again, I called tofu. And then I've got poison meat this time. So this time it's a lot more healers. So I go around, use the meat on all of them. But on this one, they take more than one food to die. So I can't just AFK after I've used food on each of them and wait for them to die. I've got to go around again, and they say it's annoying there because I used food on it and it switched. It's very annoying. It's every 30 seconds, so you can kind of get used to the timing. As you can see, there's a lot of healers. There's 5 healers at the minute, and I've got to get used to going around them. So once you've been around once, you want to go pretty much back to the first one you used food on and use them again in pretty much the same order. This way you'll get them one killed pretty fast, and the second batch will start coming out, and then you can do the same with the second batch. As you can see, that one's about to die, so I've went straight to the cave, ready for the next one to spawn. Poison meat, so wait for seeing the next one spawn, using food on it. You see, it gets quite annoying because the healers are everywhere. You lose track of which ones you've used food on because they don't stay still. So you keep on using food, and hopefully, eventually, they'll just die. As you can see, I've actually run out of food right now. I've run out of meat, but I knew 30 seconds was about to come up, so I knew it was about to switch, so I thought, why bother going to the machine to get more? Because you can always do that, go in the machine and get more. So I'm just waiting, and now I'm using the poison tofu, which I got called. Again, since there's only barely any left, I'm just using the food faster on them to make them die quicker. Because obviously it's poison damage, the damage amount that it does each time reduces, which is why it can't kill them. So then obviously you got to keep calling for defender, and it's called poison meat again, which I don't have. So instead of going to fill the machine, which would take longer, I just went to the cannon and used 2 explosive eggs because I knew it was nearly dead, which is a much easier thing to do. As you can see, 2 eggs and it just got killed. So there you go, I hope you now understand. So that's the end of my guide for Barbarian Assault, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's really been helpful. So please leave a comment, and please leave feedback, because it's really going to help, and I want to know exactly what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right, because that way I can improve my commentary and videos. And please leave suggestions for any more videos, because I really want to think of more videos to do, and it's quite hard to just come up with something, especially when I'm releasing videos quite common. So if you'd like to click the part you'd like to watch on screen if you haven't seen it before. Thanks for watching, guys.